Welcome in, everybody. Very special day for all of us at Mason360.com. You are listening to the very first edition of NBA 360 with your hosts, Penny.
And Pops.
That's correct. And let's not waste any time. Let's get right to the show. Here we go. NBA salary cap and luxury tax. This issue hamstringing about, I would say, 2/3 of the teams in the league.
I think the Knicks are crying the most, I'd say.
Yeah, well, they've been crying for a few years, haven't they?
They've been crying forever, as far as my lifetime's concerned.
Yeah, well, David Stern has recently issued projections for the 2010-2011 salary cap, and they're looking at about $50 million, which is, what, an $8 million drop from this season's number?
Yeah, they're saying about 50 to 51 million for 2010.
Which would put the luxury tax at $61.2 million, wouldn't it?
Yeah, which, that's not a pretty picture.
Yeah, well, we see here, 09 free agents, Lamar Odom, David Lee, Paul Millsap.
Andre Miller as well.
Yep.
He just recently got offered something by the Knicks, who just got shafted by Grant Hill.
Yep.
And everyone thought Grant Hill was bolting for NYC since LeBron was rumored to be heading over there.
But he appears to have enjoyed his stay in the desert. He'll be staying there. But anyway,
I guess so. His wife tried to convince him, but he wasn't going to buy it.
Back to the point on the salary cap, we can see how it's hindering big-time free agents this offseason. With the dip in numbers expected for next offseason, what can we expect for teams that were trying to cut costs, trying to create that cap room to bring in one, possibly two max stars next season?
Well, I think that throws the whole salary cap
monkey
thing.
wrench.
Yeah, monkey wrench.
Monkey wrench
monkey
into
wrench
their
indeed.
plans. Yeah.
I guess now people are going to focus on the current free agents that are out here, out on the market now, knowing that their plans have pretty much been shattered for 2010.
And speaking of current free agents, Carlos Boozer and Kobe Bryant opted not even to mess with this offseason. They didn't even want to mess around and see what potential teams would offer.
And today you can add Memo Okur to that list. He signed a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
He got Hito Turkoglu money pretty much.
Back
2
with
years,
the Jazz.
$20.8 million.
Look at that. $20.8 million. One would wonder, is he worth it? Coming up after the break, Pops and I will discuss 5 recent free agent signings, and we'll debate, are they overpaid or underpaid? See you in a minute.
Do you want to enhance that certain part of the male body?
What, like my muscles?
No. Male enhancement.
Oh, male enhancement.
Let's interview some satisfied customers.
What do you want me to say? I went on Mason360.com and it got bigger.
And you're not embarrassed to say this?
No, not at all.
Mason360.com for natural male enhancement.
Welcome back into NBA 360 on Mason360.com. Still here with Pops.
What's up?
Penny here. And as we talked about going into the break, a couple big names signed contracts earlier this week, didn't they?
Indeed. There's a huge list that we're not going to go over all of them. Just
right.
Some of the main guys, I would say.
And, well, let's take a look at 5 guys that recently signed deals. We'll debate right now. Were they overpaid or underpaid? We'll start off with Trevor Ariza. He, little swap with Ron Artest there, Lakers and Rockets.
Yeah, I'd say Lakers made one heck of a move.
Yeah. Ariza, 5-year deal, mid-level exception to Houston. Let's take a look at some stats. I'll throw you some stats.
Go for it.
You tell me overpaid or underpaid. Trevor Ariza, 23 years old, 6.9 points per game over his career in 25 minutes of action, and about 3.8 boards per game. Overpaid or underpaid? Full MLE for 5 years, Trevor Ariza.
Definitely underpaid. And I'm not even going to look at his career regular season stats. If you see what he did in the finals against the Magic, the final 2 games,
yep,
he pretty much, other than Kobe, of course, was the key factor in stealing those 2 games in Orlando.
And look at that jump shot. It's significantly improved since his time in Orlando, hasn't it?
Yeah, 3 years ago when he was in Orlando, people were like, he could be like the next McGrady, And when Stan came here, he didn't think that Trevor could develop a jump shot anywhere near that he showed in the playoffs. And, he's killing us now.
Houston thanking their lucky stars, and also Trevor Ariza's agent, David Lee, not to be confused with current NBA free agent David Lee, for him landing in Houston. Another free agent that we're going to look at, Ben Gordon, definitely made a name for himself last postseason in that epic series against the Celtics.
There were some fantastic finishes in that series.
Certainly were. Ben Gordon, 26 years old, 18.5 points per game in about 31 and a half minutes of action a night. What do you think about Ben Gordon? Overpaid or underpaid?
What's his contract situation again?
5 years, $50 million from
Wow.
Detroit. 5 years, $50 million, looking at $10 million a year. And my question to you is he even going to start in Michigan?
Probably not. He'll probably be one of the most well-paid
Six men.
that are out there right now.
Jason Terry mold, if you will.
Well, for their sake, they're going to hope he's going to be better than Jason Terry. No offense to Jason Terry.
At
He's done pretty
$50
well.
million, he better be.
But I'm going to say overpaid simply because Detroit, they need Ben Gordon to provide some defense. They needed a shooting guard in that area who could be a stopper for them. Because right now Detroit, they have their new head coach in John Kuster.
Yep.
They pretty much just ripped out the team, and with Villanueva, and it's just a whole new philosophy now. But that team now, they're gonna have to score over 100 points a game, which.
And do you need that much more scoring from your two spot when you already have Rip Hamilton coming off screens, pouring every night?
And I guess Hamilton now is going to be trade bait.
So it brings to mind, is Rodney Stuckey, promising young player at point guard, is he going to be relegated to the bench in Detroit now?
I think initially no. I think they're going to give him a chance to see what he can do with these new pieces. And I mean, he's a very talented guy.
Yeah.
And he was one of the few people on the Pistons who actually tried in that first round. Pretty much him and Antonio McDyess. It was only those two guys.
So Ben Gordon, Pistons bring him in, hoping for a little bit a prolonged playoff experience next year, but we've decided, overpaid. Ben Gordon overpaid.
Joe Dumars might need to put the pipe down. I think he's getting a little desperate.
Yep. So let's move on. Chris Anderson, the Birdman, he came on also last postseason, made quite a name for himself coming back off the drug suspension. He's going to be 31 years old when training camp opens next October. Career average is 5.3 points per game, 1.6 blocks per game, and he's shooting a blistering 63% from the foul line. Overpaid or underpaid at 5 years, $26 million, backloaded contract?
I think it's got to be overpaid simply because when the contract is over, he's going to be 36.
And his game, let's be honest here, based strictly off of athleticism.
And I mean, that's obviously going to go, as he ages. And I guess the good news for Denver is they started out, he's only getting $3.65 million.
But I'll counter with you, as he gets older, he'll be getting paid more and more. So it's a backloaded, incentive-based contract. And, let's be honest here, a 36-year-old Chris Anderson roaming the middle doesn't intimidate a lot of people.
I mean, personally, I'm saying he's overpaid, but Denver fans love the guy, and I think Nuggets fans would have been outraged had they not kept the Birdman in town.
Denver fans loved Earl Boykins too, but they didn't throw money at him.
Not as much as Chris Anderson.
Yeah.
Just no way.
Well, we've come to a decision on Chris Anderson, I think, or have we?
Overpaid.
Overpaid. Chris Anderson, overpaid. Let's move on. We'll go to Cleveland now. Anderson Varejao. A lot of speculation regarding Varejao. People thought he might be on the move, but Cleveland's decided to re-sign their floppy-haired flopper. He'll be 27 years old at the start of next season. With his 6 years, $42 million for a guy that's averaged 6.5 points, 6.5 boards, and 23 minutes of action a night.
And I mean,
I think you know where I'm going on this one, but I'd like to hear your take, Pops.